attorney Max Fees has dispatched his lethal lawyers to destroy the city. You must stop them and put an end to Max Fees. That's the story of Class Action Killers. It's goofy. Maybe the game is fun. Nope. The game is awful. So you run around this city in quotation marks, but it's not really a city. It's just a maze made to look like a bunch of buildings with doors and windows that are just painted on. You can't use them, you can't go in them. It's just a maze. You're like Pac-Man. I don't know who you're supposed to be. Maybe you're like the mail clerk at the attorney's office. Maybe you're the angry video game nerd. I don't know, but you have a gun and lawyers are running at you. Some shoot you, and some just run into you like crazy rams on speed. Which is just completely inaccurate because everyone knows lawyers do coke. Don't get me wrong, I'd love a sexy lawyer chick to bump into me. In fact, it's on my bucket list. But for some reason, the chick bumping into you hurts. I mean, I'm assuming the female lawyers have knives for nipples or something. I don't know. Excuse me. Don't disturb Ally McBeal. She's dead tired. So you run around this maze, and it's like there's nothing. I don't know what to do. It's like Seinfeld. It's a game about nothing. You have this arrow at the bottom right that I'm assuming shows you where to go, but it takes you right back to the beginning of the level. I'm assuming the beginning and end of this level are in the same general area and are just separated by one of these ugly gray copy and pasted walls. So in essence, the arrow is misleading at best and completely useless at worst. You can also jump in this game, but it's completely and utterly useless. I have never played a game with a more useless and unnecessary command. The jump button might have as well been a command where you run face first into a wall and kill yourself. It's just as useful. You never need to jump in this awful gray maze of a game. There's nothing to jump over, and you don't really avoid getting shot when you jump. The best way to avoid getting shot is moving left to right and right to left, like a horribly programmed pendulum. And of course, the best way to take out enemies rushing at you is shooting them and killing them before they get a chance to touch you in the first place. Class Action Killers has graphics like it's a PS1 game, but there's so little in terms of gameplay content that it's almost not a game. It barely passes the test of being a game. It's just the bare bones foundation of a game. You control a character, you kill enemies, and you move through a level. There's nothing to do except run through a corridor and shoot the same enemies over and over and over. I mean, it would be so easy and fast to improve this game, to make it actually playable, maybe even fun. This could be an actual game if you maybe add in some more weapons. As it stands right now, there's just one weapon, that same boring gun. But it fits perfectly with the rest of the game, because this entire game is just a big gray copy and pasted world of the same exact walls and doors and windows over and over and over again. Billions and billions of identical corridors. And how many different enemies are there before the boss? 2. I'm not even saying mix in like 20 different enemies with 20 different strategies of attacking you. They can all have the same exact strategy of attacking you, but just make them look different. How hard is it to change the hair color or the suit color of an enemy? I mean, really. Keep in mind, this whole entire game is just one level. Okay, you can call it a world, okay, whatever. It's one big city, but, you know, it's not a city, it's a goddamn awful maze. If this is a city, the first level of Pac-Man is a perfect emulation of Paris. So you run around this massive city, and you finally luck out and find the boss of this level / entire game. The boss is just this giant Nephilim lawyer straight out of the New Testament. Now, Your Honor, I might just be a simple country boy, 30-foot-tall lawyer from down south in Tennessee, but it seems to me we gotta admit one thing to ourselves. If the slingshot don't fit, you must acquit. I kinda got his pattern of shooting down, like when he stops abruptly, you just move to the left or right and you avoid his projectile bullets. You just empty a ton of ammunition right into this guy's legs and he finally falls, and then that's it. That's the end of the game. It's a game with one level. I mean, what can you say? Just a dreary, gray, awful maze. No variation in enemies, no variation in environments, no variation in anything, and on top of that, a useless jump technique you never need to use once. The more you play this game, the more you get annoyed at how identical everything is. It literally is the same exact wall over and over. I mean, seriously, every square inch of this game is copy and pasted from every other square inch. I have to keep reiterating that because it just leaves me dumbfounded every time I think about it. I look at the walls and they have the same exact broken bricks. It's like somebody walked through this entire city and every 10 feet or so, he precisely carved out a specific portion of the wall. Some obsessive compulsive destroyer of public property who can't sleep, just running around the city, breaking the walls of the city in the same exact spot every few feet. Oh, the scenery just makes my eyes hurt. I mean, I could have literally used the same 15 seconds of gameplay footage on a loop for this entire review, and none of you would know any better. This is just one of the most boring, awful, worthless wastes of time I have ever had the displeasure of playing. Class Action Killers is not a very good game. Thanks for watching. Goodbye, my friends.